Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. How are you doing today? You know, our last video, things got a little bit loud. So today we're going to take it a little bit more quietly. We're going to show you guys an acoustic guitar that we have really enjoyed, kind of loved from afar and finally came into possession of. And it's been worth the wait. We hope you enjoy it too, and maybe you'll know a little bit more about it when you encounter one in the wild. So we hope you stick around. So today, I'm holding this acoustic guitar, which has just really delighted me, and it's something I've been wanting for a while, and I picked it up this year, and it is lived up to its promise. Just one of the most underrated, cool, kind of fell through the cracks acoustic guitars of the last 20 years, and it is the Jewel Kilcher Signature Taylor. Released in 2000, there were supposed to be about 1,000 of these made, but they only made about 720, and there's some things that we think are really cool and interesting about this guitar. First is that it is the Grand Auditorium shape. We were debating whether it was Grand Concert or Grand Auditorium, but we got the measuring tape out, and it is a Grand Auditorium. The appointments are kind of similar to the 6 series or 8 series. There's this satinwood body, which they sourced from Africa. Kind of has a maple look and vibe and sound, but it is satinwood, and they apparently, according to Bob Taylor, they just had enough for the batch. They were supposed to make 1,000 of these. We have number 520. They stopped right around in the 700s, if I'm to understand correctly. But yeah, the appointments on this thing, in a lot of ways, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, this is kind of like a dressed down 814, but without the cutaway. I was hoping to find a Taylor one day without the cutaway, and ta-da, this is fantastic. It has almost like the 8 series double triangles as the inlays, but they are wooden rather than mother of pearl. There's Jewel's nice signature here, kind of cool infinity logo here, and yeah, Sitka spruce top, tortoiseshell binding rather than the white plastic. There's just a lot to like here. The Grovers as well. And of course that ridiculously playable, supremely comfortable Taylor neck. Just a really cool guitar. So one thing I really like about the Grand Auditorium and Triple O kind of size instruments, I gotta be candid. This is just really comfy for me as a guy who's 5'10", or maybe more 5'9 3/4 and 5'10 if I do serious stretches. But to my point, it's just a very comfy body size. It rests close to you when you hold it. I found when I got this guitar, I must have spent 30 minutes just walking around kind of strumming it and holding it, because I didn't even put a strap on the thing, because I just was like, oh, this is kind of nice to walk around and hold. So if you're an average or slightly below average sized human being, you might find this body shape really comfortable for you in a way that a dreadnought or a jumbo might feel kind of awkward. First time I ever saw this guitar in person, my friend Rich was playing with one, and candidly, I kind of thought he was trolling, because I didn't think of him as much of a Jewel fan, even though I knew the guitar was really nice. You know, I'd seen it and I thought, wow, those are pretty cool. It was just an era where men did not frequently play instruments that were branded to a female artist. But he was playing the thing and he was raving to me. He's like, I love this. This is my favorite Taylor. And I can see why, because of the reasons we mentioned. It's Grand Auditorium, but no cutaway, and just really comfy and really nice and understated in a lot of ways. And it sounded great. So a little background. In 2000, Jewel was huge. Like, that Spirit album had come out. It had gone platinum multiple times over. Hands was one of those songs, kind of like Greatest Love of All or Higher by Creed, where it's like, if you have another song stuck in your head and you all of a sudden just think of those songs, it replaces it. They're almost like shoehorn famous. You know, they will just shoehorn out whatever song is in your head and replace it with themselves. So, yeah, she was huge and like as big as a singer-songwriter can get in mainstream popular culture at the time. So I thought it was pretty interesting when they released this guitar. So last year, after having all my Google alerts and reverb alerts and stuff set to try to grab one of these things, one came down the pike and I snatched it up, and it has been better than advertised. I have really enjoyed playing this thing. Enough talking, let me give you a clip. So around the time that the Jewel came out, I bought this Mark. This is a 00015, and I got to come clean. So I bought this originally for my wife. She was really kind of taken with this, and she'd expressed some interest in playing, and I bought it. And my friends kind of teased me. They thought I was being like Homer Simpson buying Marge the bowling ball. There's kind of a famous episode when Homer does that. And I got all kind of butthurt about that, but they're right. I played this a lot more than my wife. So to everyone who got mad that I was mad that they called me Homer Simpson, well, I'm sorry, but yeah, I did take Marge's bowling ball. Anyway, these are cool. It is kind of meant to be kind of a Depression era kind of guitar with the all mahogany body. One thing I love about these things is that they're satin finish, but it's almost like the inverse of like wear on an electric. They're satin, but they get glossy where you wear them. So this has got an arm wear here and where I strum and where it rests on my knee. And the back of the neck is completely glossy. So I take that as a badge of honor that I didn't just stay in the cowboy chord area. I played up and down the fretboard. And this thing became a gigging instrument for me. It's been really reliable and wonderful. The only thing that I had to fix or replace was nylon washers and the tuners. Strung with 12s, this is just a delightful instrument, and this is a 000 size, which is about the same size as the Grand Auditorium, give or take, ½ inch here or there, but yeah, this thing is cool, and let me play you a tune on it. So while these are kind of similar in size and shape, they sound really different. And how much of that is due to the materials versus the design and construction? That's a great question. I lean towards the latter. Taylor in the 90s built guitars out of pallet wood to kind of prove a point that a lot of this is the way you design something and how you put it together. And people played these pallet wood guitars that were made from, pallets that were left outside in the alleys outside their factory, and they sounded like nice Taylors. And I think there's something to that. This has a lot of note definition, a lot of clarity. It's not too dissimilar in a lot of ways from the Taylor Dreadnought we're going to play. Whereas this, even though it's the smaller body shape, still has a lot of like that honeyed sound that I think of when I used to play a D35. So, again, the shape changes the sound a good deal, but I think there's a lot to the design and construction of these instruments that reflects their brands. So for this next clip, I'm going to play the Jewel, and then we're going to substitute the Dreadnought in. And you can kind of hear the differences in the body shape, but some of the similarities, mainly that kind of note definition and playability that kind of defines what a Taylor is in my mind. So what's our takeaway on this thing? I really, really have liked this guitar. I mean, it is, if you can get over yourself and play a signature instrument, do it. It doesn't necessarily mean you're endorsing the artist, though. I like Jewel plenty fine. I think if this had been like a GA6 or another special model that Taylor released with chrome hardware and no signatures and stuff, I think people would have gone nuts for it. I think this is something that's fallen through the cracks a little bit because it was a signature model that didn't blow up. I think Jewel became more known for playing like 912s and different stuff, but this is a hell of a guitar, and I just find it pretty delightful. So hope you dig it. If you run into one of these in the wild, I want you to know what it is and give it a shot. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video with us. We hope you like and subscribe and share and stick around. We've got more fun stuff we're going to show. We do have a shop special that we'll link to in the description. It is a batch of these modded Megabytes. We have a limited number of these, less than 10, and they are in special enclosures that were etched by Clint McDuffie at Deep Space Devices, another builder whom we respect a great deal. He did gorgeous graphics on here with the Curiosity rover and the ascribed quotation, supposedly, of the last message that the rover sent. My battery is low and it's getting dark. Further digging into that story, we discovered that this is actually a journalistic composite of the messages of the rover, but this is the theme. It's basically letting it know that it's hitting the end. And just a beautiful enclosure, beautiful etch work and stuff that he did with both the Caroline and Deep Space Devices logos on it, and cool as hell pedal with this brake feature. And yeah, lot to like here. 9 of them on our site. Snap them up. Hope we see you next time. Fuck. Can't keep up with a 21-year-old girl from Alaska. Okay, ready?